Have you ever noticed that money comes in, but it doesn't stay? Like it enters your life for a moment and then disappears just as fast, like it has no right to stay. And here's the question I want to ask you right now. What if the reason isn't your income, your effort, or your destiny, but your inner ability to receive money? Be honest. Have you ever felt like you have a money ceiling that you don't even notice? Like there's an invisible door inside you that simply won't open for more. You can earn, you can try, you can dream, but money still doesn't stay. Why? Because money is not just numbers in your account. Money is energy, and it reflects how you're communicating with the world. And if inside you there is a belief like, I don't deserve it, I'm not allowed to have more, rich people are different, then money simply won't stay close to you. Money doesn't punish. It just doesn't go where there is chaos and resistance inside. And if you watch this video till the end, you will understand one simple thing. Money is not something you need to get. Money is something you need to receive. And I want you to like this video and subscribe right now because we're just getting started. And the most important part is coming next. Are you ready? Have you ever noticed that money seems to come, but somehow never stays? You earn it, sometimes even more than before. And then suddenly it's gone. Unexpected expenses, strange decisions, financial mistakes, and that familiar feeling shows up inside. Something is wrong with me. If this feels like you, hit the like button right now and subscribe to the channel. We're just getting started. And the most important part is coming. Because the truth is, money doesn't disappear because you're bad with money. Not because you're not smart enough, disciplined enough, or somehow undeserving. Money leaves because your inner capacity isn't ready to hold it yet. And I know that sounds unexpected. So let me explain. Most people think the problem is income, that they need to work harder, push more, control everything. But you've probably seen this yourself. One person earns less and feels calm, while another earns more and lives in constant stress. Why? Because money isn't just numbers. It's a load on your nervous system. It's your internal sense of safety. It's how much you allow yourself to have and hold without tension inside. When there's fear, guilt, or a deep belief like, I'm not allowed to have more, money starts to feel unsafe. And your psyche does the only thing it knows how to do. It removes the source of tension, even if that source is money. Watch this video until the end, and you'll understand what actually needs to expand. So money doesn't just come, but stays and starts working for you. And now, let's go deeper and break down what money capacity really is and why it's different for everyone. I clearly remember one woman. Let's call her Maria. We met when she was in her early 30s. On the outside, confident, well-groomed, intelligent, good education, solid experience, a sharp mind. She wasn't poor. In fact, money had started to come into her life. At first, small amounts, then more. New clients, new projects, new opportunities. At one point, her income doubled. And that's when something strange began to happen. Every time money came in, something broke in her life. An urgent home repair, unexpected medical expenses, relatives needing help she couldn't refuse. Strange financial decisions she couldn't later explain. She once said to me, I earn money, but it's like I'm not allowed to keep it. And in those words, the truth was already there, even though she didn't fully realize it yet. One day she admitted, when my bank account reaches a certain amount, I stop sleeping well. I feel anxious. I feel like something bad is about to happen. And it always did. We stopped analyzing numbers and started listening to how her body felt around money. And that's where a very different story appeared. Maria grew up in a family where money was always connected to tension. Any conversation about income came with anxiety, arguments, exhaustion. Phrases like, big money means big problems. It's better to have less, but live in peace. Don't stand out. You always have to pay for good things later. No one ever sat her down and said these were rules, but she absorbed them emotionally. Her body remembered. So when money began to flow in adulthood, her nervous system didn't read it as success. It read it as danger, unconsciously. As if a voice inside whispered, "This is too much. This isn't safe. This isn't for you." And then a protective mechanism kicked in. Not because she was careless, not because she was bad with money, but because her inner capacity was smaller than her income. The psyche always chooses safety over profit. If there is an internal limit, this much is okay. More than that is not. Everything beyond that limit will be lost, given away, or destroyed through chaos. When Maria finally understood this, she stopped blaming herself for the first time. She said, "There was nothing wrong with me. I was just living with outdated internal settings." That was the turning point, because money is neither punishment nor reward. It is a reflection of how much you can hold inside yourself, without fear, guilt, or tension. If it feels cramped inside, money won't stay, not because you're unworthy, but because the system needs space. And that's exactly what we're moving into next. How inner capacity expands, and why no strategy works without it. If you recognized yourself in this story, write in the comments, "I am ready to expand my capacity." And now let's go deeper, because the next step is the most important one. Maria's story matters not because it's about money. It matters because it's about limits. About that invisible inner ceiling we don't allow ourselves to rise above. And if we're completely honest, most people don't lose money in moments of failure, but in moments of growth. When money becomes bigger than the inner permission to have it. When reality expands faster than the nervous system can keep up. That's where self-sabotage appears, quiet, subtle, almost invisible, but incredibly precise. So now we're not going to talk about strategies, investments, or right decisions. We're going to talk about capacity, the inner space that allows money not only to come, but to stay. Capacity is not about how much money you have. It's about how calm you can remain in its presence. Imagine a glass. If you pour more water into it than it can hold, the water will spill out. Not because the glass is bad, but because that's its current size. Money works the same way. If inside you there is fear, guilt, a feeling of "it's too early for me," a belief that "I'll have to pay for this," or a habit of living in constant tension, money stops being joy and becomes overload, and the psyche will do everything it can to return you to what feels familiar. Step 1. Notice the moment of contraction. Expanding capacity doesn't begin with action. It begins with observation. Ask yourself honestly, what do I feel when I imagine my income doubling? Tripling? Becoming stable and predictable? If instead of calm you feel anxiety, tension in your body, a need to control everything, or the thought "this won't last," that's exactly where your capacity ends right now. Important. Don't fix anything. Don't analyze. Don't work through it. Just notice. Awareness begins with allowing yourself to see the truth. Step 2. Rewrite the inner contract. Each of us has an unspoken contract with money. It's not written in words. It lives in the body. For example, money equals exhaustion. Money equals responsibility. Money equals loss of freedom. Money equals loneliness. Money equals danger. As long as this contract remains unconscious, you will keep fulfilling it, without even knowing why. Practice. Pause and finish this sentence honestly. When I have more money, I'm afraid that... Don't think. Write the first thing that comes. That, not money, is the real limitation. Step 3. Expansion. Through the body, capacity doesn't expand through beliefs. It expands through new bodily experience. Try this simple practice. Sit comfortably, take a slow breath in, and on the exhale, say inwardly, I allow myself to feel safe as my income grows. Don't try to believe it. Don't convince yourself, just say it. If your body responds with tension, you're doing it right. It means you're touching the edge. Repeat. I'm allowed to expand gradually. I don't need to jump beyond my readiness. I can get used to more, step by step. Capacity doesn't expand suddenly. It grows when you stay in contact with yourself. Step 4. Stop proving. This is a crucial point. Many people want money in order to prove something, to their parents, to the world, to the past, to themselves. But money earned from proving is always unstable, because inside there is tension. What if it's taken away? What if I don't live up to it? What if this was a mistake? True expansion begins when money stops being an exam. Ask yourself, if I didn't need to prove anything to anyone, what level of income would feel comfortable for me? Comfort is the key word here, not maximum, but sustainable. Step 5. Daily alignment. Capacity is not a one-time decision. It's a state that needs to be maintained. Each day, ask yourself, where am I contracting today? Where am I choosing familiar lack instead of a new level? Where am I pulling back too early? And gently return to yourself, without pressure, without force, without self-criticism, because money flows to places where it is welcomed, not where it is fought for. If you felt that this part was about you, write in the comments, I am expanding my capacity for money. And next, we'll talk about how to anchor this state, so growth becomes natural, not stressful. That's where true financial flow begins. There's a very important point that almost no one talks about. Money doesn't just come. It chooses where to stay. You can earn a lot. You can experience sudden growth. You can even receive big money once. But if there is no inner agreement, money will either leak away or turn into a source of tension or disappear as quickly as it arrived. Inner agreement is a state where you are no longer arguing with reality, not proving, not justifying, not waiting to be punished for abundance. It's when a simple thought lives inside you. Yes, I'm allowed to live this way. What does inner agreement with money really mean? It's not arrogance, not confidence, not even the mindset of, I deserve it. It's silence. It's the absence of inner noise like, what if this doesn't last? What will people think? Isn't this too much? Why me? When money comes, and you don't tense up, don't rush, don't feel the need to fix yourself. Because very often money doesn't leave because of mistakes. It leaves because of inner resistance to a new level of life. Why money leaves when there's more of it? Notice this subtle moment. When someone hasn't had money for a long time, they live in survival mode. When money begins to appear, survival ends, and self-contact begins. And that's when things surface. Emptiness, loneliness, fear of being seen, fear of responsibility, fear of choice, and the psyche quietly says, let's go back to where it was hard, but at least familiar. Money becomes a trigger for growth, not just a resource. And if a person isn't ready to stay in that growth, they unconsciously do everything to return to their previous level. Agreement is permission to be yourself at a new level. True inner agreement sounds like this. I'm allowed to live more easily. I'm allowed to slow down. I don't need to justify my comfort. I don't have to explain why I have money. This is where collective programming often activates. Don't stand out. Be modest. What if it's taken away? What if you're judged? But money doesn't go where it's feared. It goes where it is welcomed internally. The practice of inner agreement. This practice isn't about visualization. It's about honesty. Ask yourself, out loud or in writing. What level of income am I internally okay with right now? Not what I want, not what I dream about, but what I can calmly accept. Where do I feel tension when I think about money? In my body, in my breath, in my stomach, in my chest. What am I afraid of losing if I have more money? Relationships? My old identity? Approval from others? These are key questions. Without them, expansion isn't possible. Money as a mirror of maturity. Money doesn't test us on goodness. It tests us on adulthood, on our ability to choose, hold, not destroy, not run away, not self-sabotage. When inner agreement appears, money stops being the goal and becomes a byproduct of inner stability, a byproduct of honest dialogue with yourself, a byproduct of allowing yourself to live in a way that truly fits you. And this is the moment when money begins to stay. There is one truth that changes everything. Money doesn't grow in leaps. It grows through daily inner permission. Most people think expansion happens through a big breakthrough, one powerful decision, a lucky opportunity. But real financial capacity expands quietly, in ordinary days, in small inner choices, in how you treat yourself when no one is watching. Why capacity is built daily, not dramatically. Your nervous system doesn't understand sudden abundance as success. It understands it as danger. That's why people often lose money after earning more, quit right when things start working, sabotage opportunities that require consistency. Not because they're weak, but because their system hasn't learned how to hold more. Capacity is not about income. It's about how safe your body feels at a higher level of life. The hidden habit that blocks financial growth. Here's something very subtle. Many people expand outward, but shrink inward. They earn more, but rest less. They grow, but enjoy themselves less. They achieve, but criticize themselves more. This creates an internal imbalance. Money senses this imbalance. Because money doesn't stay where. Joy is postponed. Rest is forbidden. Pleasure feels unearned. If abundance comes with self-punishment, the psyche will choose poverty, because at least it feels familiar. The practice of daily expansion. This is a simple but powerful practice. Do it every day. Ask yourself, where am I still living as if I have to prove something? Where do I deny myself ease? Where do I postpone life until later? Then consciously choose one small act of permission. Rest without guilt. Buy something without explaining. Say no without over-justifying. Enjoy success without minimizing it. This is how capacity grows, not through hustle, not through pressure, but through alignment. Money comes when life is allowed. Money doesn't come to people who suffer beautifully. It comes to people who allow themselves to live fully. When you allow comfort, pleasure, simplicity, stability, you signal to life, I can hold this. And life responds, because money is not a reward. It's a reflection of how much life you allow yourself to experience. The moment, money becomes calm. At a certain point, something shifts. You stop chasing money. You stop fearing it. You stop dramatizing it. Money becomes neutral, calm, supportive. And this is the highest level of capacity. When money is no longer the center, but simply a natural part of your life. This is when the flow stabilizes. If you take only one thing from this video, let it be this. Money doesn't come into your life by accident, and it doesn't leave just like that. It always reflects how much you allow yourself to. Live calmly, feel confident, receive more than before, be in alignment with yourself. Money is not about numbers, not about effort, not about control. It's about your inner capacity. You are not poor because you don't try hard enough. You are not limited because you are not smart enough. And you are not stuck because you're not meant for it. You just grew to a level that was safe for you at some point. And this can be changed. Without breaking yourself, without forcing, without proving anything to the world, but gradually. Through self-respect, through daily inner alignment, through allowing yourself to live a little wider than yesterday. And if you're watching this video right now, it means your capacity is already ready to expand. Right now, ask yourself, where am I still shrinking myself to feel safe? And if you feel the resonance, hit the like button on this video. It's a sign to yourself that you're ready for the next level. Subscribe to the channel, because next we will talk not just about money, but about the mindset that can hold it, and the life where abundance becomes normal. Write in the comments, I allow myself more, and watch how the world starts responding differently to you.